thought I'd do a review of one of my favorite pieces of equipment here on my farm, which is this little UTV. And this is something, a brand a lot of people may not have heard of. This is the Axist 700. Axist Off-Road. This is a great machine. This is an offshoot. It's made by High Sun Motors, which some people have heard of. This one, you can actually pick these up from Lowe's Home Improvement. Shockingly, they do sell them, and I can't remember what the new price is. It's like 8,000 or 9,000 for the 700. I'll post a picture of it here, so whatever it is, I don't remember what it is, brand new. You don't see a lot of these, but I tell you what, this thing is a beast, and hands down has been one of the best pieces of equipment I have bought for my property. So let's do a quick walkthrough. Right now I've got, how many hours? I've got 61.7 hours, 387 miles on it. So 61.8 miles, 61.8 hours, 387 miles. Last, it's got a little trip odometer, 36 miles. So let's crank it up. You want to hear it crank up? Let's do a quick walkthrough. 26 by 9 by 14 tires. Things are awesome. I bought this with about 20 hours on it, so I bought it used and got an absolute steal on it. Thank you, whoever sold me, can't remember your name. I love it. He put this light bar on it. Thing just lights up the night like crazy. The Axist 700, you'll hear a lot of different reviews about the High Sun Motors. Some say they're junk, some say they're great. It may be a hit or miss from the factory, I don't know. This one has been flawless. I have never had an issue with this machine. It cranks up when I crank it up. It runs and goes wherever I want to go, and I've had zero issues with it. It's got a lot of features that some of the other brands are a lot of expensive add-ons. It's got a, what is it, 3,000 pound, 3,500 pound winch, 3,500. I don't know if you can see that down there, 3,500 pound winch. It's got a nice bumper on the front. It's got, you know, skid plate guards for the CV boots, skid plates underneath it. Comes stock with this windshield, which is great. Not only when it's cold out, but even in the summer, man, you're going down these trails, all the spider webs getting in your face, clears all of that out. It's got a hydraulic little piston lift for the bed. I've got a bunch of junk in here because I use it. This didn't just sit around. I don't go off-roading in it really. This is truly a utilitarian vehicle where I run it on my farm. So comes with a little truck bed liner, tailgate drops down, as all my stuff falls out. Got a little mix of everything in here. And just so you know, that sticker's a inside joke. Awesome machine. I have had zero issues with this piece of equipment. It comes standard with a full-time locking rear differential. You've got the gas tank fill up right here. You've actually got the lift for the bed on both sides, one here and one there. Rear differential is full-time locking. Four-wheel drive, push button four-wheel drive, and push button locking front differential. So when you need it, you've got full lockers front and rear and four-wheel drive, and you've got reverse, neutral, high and low, good parking brake. This is the control for the four-wheel drive, so you push that in, that turns the four-wheel drive. When that's pushed in, I can push this over, pop that out, and that does the locking differential. 9 times out of 10, I almost never need it in four-wheel drive. It's got a horn. Oh, bell. There you go, horn works. It's got lights, it's got turn signals. Everything has the factory headlights, but they honestly don't do much. You got a glove box. I've got the remote that actually plugs in down here for my winch, and this is where I keep my garage door opener for the house. It's an awesome machine. This thing, you put it in four-wheel low with the front and rear differentials locked, and this thing is just a beast. It will go anywhere. I've stuffed this completely full of firewood stacked up high. This thing will haul it out of the woods no problem. It's just an absolute beast of a machine, and genuinely I think probably one of the better buys you can get on the market. With all the features, you've got rear view mirrors, seat belts, headrests, you've got the canopy, windshield super handy. It's just a beast. It just cranks up every time, and it goes wherever the heck I want it to go. I've got 90 acres here, and some of it is pretty steep. It's not exactly a flat piece of property, and this thing has been a game changer for accessing and utilizing my property. Highly recommend the Axist 700. They make this in the 500. I think that would be pretty underpowered. The 700 though, I mean, unless you're on a flat yard and you're not doing anything, that'd be fine, but hey, a golf cart would probably work for you at that point. But the 700 for this property is ideal. So this thing's a beast. It goes wherever I want on this property. It's amazing. The 4-low with front and rear differential lock is just, you can put it anywhere you want to go. What are some negatives about this? The gear shift right here can be a little on the tight side of things. When you're trying to shift gears, it can be a little tight getting it in and out of gear. But honestly, for the price point that you get this machine at, it runs and shifts solid. It's just a little on the snug side, but it's really not too bad, honestly, at all. One other thing I would say is the steering on this is a little tight. It has power steering, but it almost feels more like power assist. The more speed I have, the smoother that is. So when I'm trying to back and turn around in some pretty tight quarters, this can be a little cantankerous, especially if you have it in 4-low with the front differential locked. Then it's, you know, definitely a bear to get it to turn in a tight radius. But you know, if I'm having to turn it tightly, I just take it out of 4-low and the front differential lock, and that makes it a lot better. That's one thing that I would change. The only problems that I've had with this, you can see right here on my steering wheel right here. This is no fault of Axist. This is compliments of the horse that we had, my youngest horse that we had for a while, that we sadly ended up selling not too long ago due to college and not being ridden. But Cash the horse was like our giant puppy dog, and when I'd come up and watch sunsets at the fire pit, he'd come hang out with me, and if he didn't get enough treats, he'd come rummaging through the four-wheeler to get a treat if he could find one. And one day he decided he'd take a bite out of the steering wheel because he didn't get a treat as fast as he wanted. So thought about replacing that, but now I have fond memories of Cash, and so I've left it. You know, other than that, the only complaint I would have about this machine is with the engine compartment here, and this seat pops out and that seat pops out, and then this whole cover comes off, and then you can also lift up the bed, and you've got full access to this entire motor here for any service or maintenance or anything. And it does have a heat shield on it, but you know, you've got some gaps here and there. You do get some heat that comes up from this, and the gentleman I bought it from told me that they had 2 of these and they used them for like a 4th of July parade, going super slow, you know, on their downtown Main Street. And he said the heat coming up from the engine was brutal, and I have to agree with him. That would be a miserable sounding day. In the winter, it's awesome. You do get, it's like a built-in heater. But in the summer, if you're running it for 8 hours in the hot sun, you're gonna get some heat coming up out of that. The one thing, it would be nice, some of the other models with the bench seat, you can more easily fit 3 people because you've got controls that are moved up to the dash. But you know, we're able to make it work. I've taken this with, you know, 3 people or so in the bed and 2 in the front, and we've gone up some of the steep hills here, and man, it still climbs up no problem. You know, I've got this little part here, this trim just came undone. I just need to come in and glue it, just haven't gotten around to it. Basically, we've had no issues with it. The only real potential mechanical issue that I've had is, I don't know if you'll even be able to see it. I don't think you can see this from this side, but where the manifold ties in over here, you can just see it through there. The nuts came off the bolts, and so that clamp fitting that comes up in those bolts, tighten that up, the bolts rattled off, and so now when I run it, you'll hear like this little rattle noise. Sounds like a little metal rattling, and that is because that's the exhaust clamp that's come loose. But you know, frankly, on the farm, it's no big deal. I need to go up to the High Sun dealer, which is one just 20 minutes from my house, and go get those nuts to fix it. But you know, honestly, with everything I have going on, hadn't made it to the top of the list. Overall, highly recommend this machine. We did have a branch come through here. That happened to the guy before I bought it. But I've got 60 plus hours on it, and this thing has run flawlessly. Tons of power, tons of traction, runs great. If you're looking for a really well-priced machine for your farm that you're not trying to win speed races with, and you're really just more worried about reliability and function and working hard and hauling gear and equipment and tools or firewood, man, I don't think you can go wrong. It's remarkably capable. It does have a hitch receiver right down here, so you can hook up a little trailer to it. You know, it's fully featured. Really could not say enough good things about this machine. So if you're in the market for a really good, strong, basic, rugged UTV, highly recommend you take a look at these. I have been immensely pleased. No problems. This thing will run anywhere you want it to go for a fraction of the cost of some of the other brand names, pretty much made in the same factories. So hope this helps. Giant thumbs up for the Axist 700.